What is the cry, people? We're doing a fitness genre tier list in regards to the training behind the sport itself, not necessarily the actual sport. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my opinions on the categories listed below. Let's get stuck straight in. Starting off with strongman. If you're a strongman guy, you are a big oaf of a man, probably have little to no hair on your head, probably have a really big beard, and are probably one of the nicest people you can ever come across. As for the few strongmen that I've met, mate, they're too fucking nice. Now, specifically with the training aspect of things, I am going to put you in A tier because dragging trucks and picking up big fucking heavy stones and, you know, having a ridiculously big bench, even though that's not even part of your sport, is absolutely something that I salute, my dear friend. So you're going to go in A tier. I feel like the training, it can be quite fun, and to be fair, anyone who sat down and actually watched a strongman event or a competition, it is entertainment. Like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. It's fun for all the family. Cruising on then with number 2, we have powerlifting. Now, powerlifting for me as a sport, I can respect. It's something that is in my gym. It's in many gyms. It's very popular in today's world. In regards to the training specifically, I'm gonna have to stick you in B for a couple of reasons. Strongman and powerlifting are very similar, but they're very not at the same time, if that makes sense. They both lift heavy shit, but they're not really the same heavy shit that they're lifting. So when you talk about powerlifting, you talk your bench, your squat, your deadlift, plus a couple of accessory movements to help progress the primary lifts. For me, the training aspect of powerlifting is quite stale. I see a lot of my boys getting injured. I see a lot of powerlifters with sore backs, and ultimately in regards to the sport itself, I mean, I'd sit down and watch a strongman day any day over a fucking powerlifting competition, and that is just my opinion. So for the training aspect of things, I'm going to stick you in B. Olympic lifting, exactly the same story. I'm going to stick you in B. Again, you've got primary lifts, you've got some supplementary lifts to help progress your primary lifts, and ultimately, while I think maybe the lifts are slightly cooler yet less relatable than powerlifting, I just think it's, again, the dynamic of the sport and the dynamic of training are very much similar. So that is why you're going to go in B tier. Endurance training, usually I would stick this in D, but in recent times I'm actually going to stick it in A, because personally I've fallen in love with endurance training, endurance sports. I've fallen back in love with doing triathlons. So I just think there's something really fucking cool about going from point A to point B with fucking no rest in between. So like, you take a standard push-pull leg split, you go in, you do your fucking set of 12 reps, and then you take 2 minutes rest, and then you do another fucking 12 reps that maybe takes you 30 seconds, and then you take 2 minutes rest. So the rest to workload is completely ratioed in regards to the rest, whereas with endurance, you start and then you finish, and there ain't no rest in the middle. So I think there is something cool about that, and I do enjoy the endurance aspect of my training. CrossFit, I was going to stick in D, but I'm going to give it a C, and I'll tell you why. Because the camaraderie and the community behind the CrossFit is something that I have to salute. I don't know what it is about these fools that think bad form and functional fucking technique or whatever is optimal for training, but I completely disagree with most things CrossFit. But I agree with the community that backs it. You talk to anyone who does CrossFit, they love the sport, they love the people they do the sport with. It's a community of what seem to be like-minded people pushing other people to be their best, and I think from the competitiveness of the upper echelon of the sport is really fucking sick, in all fairness. Now, I do think you're a little bit of a wetbag if you do CrossFit, and no, I don't want to do CrossFit with you, but I salute you from a distance, my friend. Combat, straight up the top here at S. Not something I have a huge amount of experience with outside of boxing, but I think the dynamics of the training specifically is absolutely nuts. You have to have your striking on par, you have to have your wrestling, you have to have your jiu-jitsu, you have to have your endurance up there, your strength and conditioning, you have to have your striking up there. There's just so many aspects of fitness that go into the one sport, and ultimately that's why the UFC is so popular today. You know, you look at boxing, you look at UFC, you look at even some of the other guys. It's an absolutely massively popular sport because it's one man versus one man, no tools, no weapons, it's just hand to hand, and whoever's put in the most amount of training gets the dub. Calisthenics, we're going to stick it in D tier simply for 2 reasons. One, I don't have anyone in D tier, so sorry mate, you have to go down there. And number 2, if I did want to partake in a poverty workout, maybe I'd consider calisthenics, but lucky for me, I do have a gym membership where there are weights and resistance-based exercises are in abundance of amount of choice, so I am probably not going to be doing no calisthenics, no offense to you. And bodybuilding straight up into S tier. I don't think there's any point fucking wasting time explaining as to why that is S tier. Obviously, man loves his bodybuilding training, the 4x12s, let me get a bicep pump, baby, ooh rah. So talk to me, what would be your list? Let me know in the comments below. Have I fucked up here? Does calisthenics need a little bit of a chance here? I don't think so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
When my friends go, it was simple. When there is no, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike, I go hard day and night.